Hello, everyone. It's another edition of the Travel the World as a Speaker show. I am your host, Felicia Jones, and I'm really excited about today. We're going to talk about how to be effective as a virtual speaker. And this is going to be really good for all of you who have had to jump into this world of virtual, how to convert, how to be more dynamic on camera. This is going to be for you, because the thing is, virtual speaking is very different than in-person speaking, and you got to make it work for you, especially if you're trying to catch attention. You're leveraging this for next year when you want to go out and start traveling, all of those things. So we're going to talk about that today. And as you can tell, I don't have a travel story prepared, because this is Travel the World as a Speaker. And I think in the beginning, I'm going to try to start telling you a few stories. And I need to write down all my travel stories, because I really do have some crazy travel stories. Like I think I've told you before, I've been robbed in countries. I've been extorted by the police. I've had my passport taken. I've been stranded in a country, didn't know if I was going to get out. I've been yelled at trying to go to the bathroom. Yeah, all of these fun things. That's the one thing I do like about traveling, is that you get some of these interesting travel stories. But I'm gonna let you know what's going on here in the background. I got a lot of things, so I feel like I'm just moving around. I'm moving around. Okay. For those of you who have no idea what is going on, this is Travel the World as a Speaker. Today's episode is how to be effective as a virtual speaker. I got my notes over here, so if you see me looking away. Now, we come to you live here on YouTube and Instagram. So for all of my folks here on Instagram, you got the really pretty filter with all the flowers and everything. I have the filter that gives me eyelashes, because I hate fake eyelashes. I swear to God, I hate those things. But if you want to see all of the cool graphics, which I'm going to go into, you need to come over here to YouTube and ifindyoukclothes.com/YouTube, because I'm going to show you a couple of things that you could do to make your virtual presentations just a little bit more interesting. Now on Instagram, I mean, they give you all of these cool little filters, all these little fun things to play with. And I think I'm going to keep it on here. I have rose petals coming down. For those of you who are on the YouTube, unfortunately, you won't see what's going on Instagram. So you have to go over there and like us, and then you can see what's happening. So before we even get into anything, I have to tell you, so one of my side hobbies is I have a podcast. So I started this podcast, and this is just something just for all of my speakers. If you are finding that talking about business and focusing on work, and you don't feel like you have a break, a friend of mine, Paul Ince, we call him Bizpal here on the Instagram and everything. We decided to take all of our WhatsApp conversations and turn them into a podcast, and we've had some crazy conversations. Paul is over in the UK, and I'm definitely an American, so we get to go back and forth on my version of why British people sound weird when they say words, but we get to talk about all kinds of cool things. And one of the things that we did talk about the other day, our show just released. So for all my folks here, the show is called Humans Exhaust Me. And as he calls it, it's everything that was inspired by 2020. I have no idea. We're on episode 24, so the time has gone by pretty quickly. And our latest episode is about K-pop. It's called The Miseducation of K-pop. Of course, it is just a homage to one of my favorite singers, Miss Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And we just talked about the world of K-pop, what's going on. Paul he doesn't know if he's a fan yet. So we're trying to convince Paul to become a fan of K-pop. And a lot of the things that I'm going to tell you about today, I know it's going to sound really funny, but it was actually inspired by K-pop. A lot of the things that came to me, of course, is nothing new, but it was just really interesting following the world of K-pop when it comes to exposure, doing their concerts, all of that kind of stuff. And of course, the one group that I'm into is BTS. And yes, I have the jacket. I went to, this is their Map of the Soul 1 concert. I actually went to the concert virtually over the summer. Very talented young men, very great skin. They encouraged me to go get my skin game at peak level. But I learned a few things from them that I want to kind of pass over to you today. It's a little bit about marketing, but a lot about being able to take advantage of where you are right now. Now, one of the things, BTS is a group that is out of Korea. That's what K-pop is for. And you may have heard their song Dynamite. It hit #1 and was all on the radio, I think, after like November, October type thing. And they just got nominated for their very first Grammy. But watching these young men, of course, their hearts were broken, of course, when the pandemic hit. And they're just like us. They can't do tours. They miss their fans. But they work for a company. And, of course, everybody had to pivot. And one of the things that I really appreciated about them was, or maybe more so the company and how they rearranged everything, was that, you know, they took advantage of what they could at the moment. And we couldn't go out. We couldn't do live events. They couldn't do concerts. So they brought the concerts to them. They created these elaborate sets, all of these amazing things to kind of give you that experience as if you were there. And it changed the concert experience. Of course, you want to be there with the people. Maybe not having people sweat on you, because I'm a little shorty person, and you know, you have to stand. And from what I did hear is that they make people sit down in a concert. Good for them. But you know, you're around people yelling and screaming. But this was a very interesting experience watching a concert, because they gave us multiple views and I could switch cameras. It was live and I got to chat with people, which I didn't do, but I got to see people chatting the entire time during the concert, and I was able to put it up on my big screen because of Chromecast and everything. But I was so inspired by them, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, Felicia, use your brain. Use your brain, because this is something that we could do as speakers, especially if we're not doing big budgets. You know, we don't have big budgets. We can't go rent out rooms and all of that other stuff, but we can create a studio here at home so that we can give the feel of being in a big budget arena and being in front of an audience. Hey, Tanya Warren on Instagram, how are you doing? Of course, everyone, if you have questions, put them down in the comment box. For those of you coming on to Instagram, we are talking about how to be effective as a virtual speaker. And I am talking about my experience getting lost in the world of K-pop, mainly BTS, and what I actually learned from BTS when it comes about delivering an effective and engaging experience. So with that, let's go ahead and jump in. Of course, any questions, put them in the comment box. Now, when it comes to being a speaker, we're not on stage right now. It is what it is. So I know a lot of us, we can sit here and moan and cry, I want to be on stage. All right, I get it. I want to be on stage too. Kind of, not really. I'm good, to be honest. But this is one opportunity that you can use to make it work for you, to honestly make it work for you when it comes to being able to deliver virtually. There are opportunities to get on stage. There are tons of opportunities for you to use this to leverage to either travel the world. I mean, you can virtually travel the world right now. I mean, I had 2 engagements that were virtually over in the UK last year. And, or if you're trying to leverage this to grow your business, market your business, all of these things, this is one of the key components is that you're going to have to embrace the world of virtual. It is what it is. Okay. And we just have to go from there, and we have to work with what we got. And right now, we all pivoted last year. We all made the mad dash. Our laptops are probably running hot with how many events and how many things we're doing. But there are a few key things that I want you to work on as a speaker, so that when you are doing these virtual presentations, you catch somebody's eye. That's what we want. We want you to catch somebody's eye, to be drawn into you and say, you know what? I like what's going on here. I like what they're doing. I like the graphics. Oh, excuse me. I need some water. Virtual speaking. Sorry about that, y'all. The thing you want when it comes to being a virtual speaker is that you want to be able to get referred to your next speaking gig. You want people to convert into what you're doing. You want to make sure that people are attracted to you to want to do business. And right now, all of it really matters. Remember before when we go out and speak live, you know, our shoes, our outfit, everything mattered, the stage, where we were, the backdrop. All of that matters at home. It really does. It matters where you're speaking, and even more so now. It's time for you to upgrade from what you have been doing. If you've only been using your laptop and all I can see is your nose when you're on camera, it's time to upgrade, to do things differently so that you can get booked more. You can show the people who are booking speakers that you're not afraid of technology. And not only will you bring the content, you will bring your A game with presenting, and you're going to bring your A+ game, because now it's not just going to be a boring talk with you just, hi, here I am, trying to figure it out. We're going to make sure that it is the most engaging thing, because what's going on with the big time speakers is that not only are they just being able to get up and speak, they're bringing, oh my gosh, they're bringing this engagement. They're being able to flip cameras, to change scenes and all of that kind of stuff just here while doing a virtual presentation. And I'll give you an example. I think I've told you, for all of you who are on YouTube, you're going to see this. For my Instagram people, you're going to have to come over to ifindyouclothes.com/YouTube so that you can see what we're doing. So this is one of the little gadgets. I'll put it in the description box here on YouTube. But it's called, it's a stream deck. And this is something that I can use to flip through different scenes. I can key things to happen. I can have my website pop up just from these little keys here. And it's actually been really cool playing around with this. Even myself, I'm trying to upgrade my experience as a speaker so that I can deliver a little bit more. Over the next few months, I'm going to be adding a couple of cameras, and I'm going to be switching back and forth so you can see cameras. Some of the other things that I've done, just even having multiple screens. I have 3 monitors so that I can have a presentation here. I can have a camera here. I can switch scenes here. I can see what's going on. It's going to take these little bitty changes so that you can become a more comfortable and engaged speaker when you are on a virtual stage. All right, so I'm going to start with a couple of points, and if you got questions, let me know. I'm making sure I got everything going. I actually have some notes for today. Look at me. I got notes. I actually got some notes for today, and I want to follow them, and I want to make sure everything is together, because I'm going to move around just a little bit. For my folks on Instagram, you may not see me able to move around a lot, but I'm trying to. So today I'm actually standing. And this is one of the first things that I want you to really pay attention to as a speaker, is I want you to start standing up when you speak. Now, one of the things, I'm actually going to move around, so I may move away from the microphone just a little bit. One of the things that we have to do when we are trying to deliver virtually is we have to recreate the stage as much as possible. Now, for all of you on YouTube, you can see that I am actually standing up. I've actually created a studio here. For those of you on Instagram, you could probably still hear me. I know I'm getting far away from the microphone, so forgive me. I can bring this one with me. This is my other real microphone here. But the thing that I've done is I've given myself the ability to stand. Now, I do have other lights, and so my lighting is kind of losing as I walk backwards. But what I want you to do now is get to the point where you are standing in your presentations. Give yourself room, because this is how we normally present. When we were out on stage, we didn't sit in a chair doing this the whole time. That's not what we did. You know, we actually gave ourselves a little, you didn't pace. Now, if you're a pacer, don't pace at home. You're going to have to put some tape down so you won't get out of camera range. But I want you to be able to have room to move, okay? Room to move. Now, we don't have a huge, big budget production that we can do, but this is something you can do at home. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is rearrange your room, okay? If you have a home office, if you have a spare bedroom, if you're like me and you have this huge basement with nothing in it, this is time for you to create your stage so that you can have room to move. And thanks, Tanya Warren. Thank you so much. She said, my lighting still looks great and the volume is still great. I've had to project my voice a little bit because I know I'm walking backwards. But, and you're on my cell phone. So for everybody on Instagram, you're on my cell phone. Everybody else, you're on my webcam. So the first thing I want you to do is to rearrange one of your home offices, a spare bedroom. I mean, seriously, ain't nobody coming to visit you right now, so get rid of that bed. Put it in the basement until your mom comes to visit, because right now she probably isn't coming to your house, or she ain't coming to my house. Put it somewhere so that you can give yourself space. That's the first thing I want you to do, is to give yourself some room. And so for those of you who are on rearrange, can I spell far away? I can. Oh my gosh, look at me. Okay. I'm trying to get fancy, and I'm going to put it up here on the screen. There we go. I was typing words. Hey, Miss Jazzy Nation, how are you doing? This is Jasmine. I talked to her last week. She's amazing. Jasmine, I did recommend you for that speaking gig, so there you go. So for those of you on YouTube, so you see this thing plastered all over my face, but I'm trying to get fancy and put up things. I'm still learning. I'm still learning as I go. But what I want you to do is rearrange one of your spare bedrooms, your home office. Get rid of some things so that you can stand. That's the very first thing I want you to do. And is to take that room, and we're going to create a stage. I mean, that's what we're going to do. Move things around, buy a stand buy one of those music stands. For those of you who are musicians, you know what I'm talking about, where you put your sheet music on. Buy one of those to put your laptop on. If you're using a desktop, make it so that you can stand up, you can sit down, and you can have lighting, and you can create this stage. So that's the first thing we want to do, is to rearrange one of your spare bedrooms or your home office, because this is what I want you to do. I want you to be able to stand when you are speaking. All right. The second thing is, let me look at my notes. The second thing is you need to upgrade your equipment. All right. So I'm going to put it over here again. We're going to upgrade your equipment. I know you did not come over here to see me type, but this is live. It's a pandemic. I'm just blaming it on that. And I'm trying to type as I go. And I'm of that age where I can't see anything now. I know. It's kind of crazy. I can't see crap. So I'm just happy that I can type from far away. All right. So the next thing is you need to upgrade your equipment. All right. For those of you who will be presenting with your cell phone, I'm telling you, you are paying $1,000 for that cell phone. It is probably the best thing you have. Learn it and use it. Your front camera is probably giving you about 10 megapixels. Your back camera, if it's like mine, is giving you like 15. Learn how to do those camera switches. If your cell phone is your only camera, learn how to use it. Buy you a selfie stick. Buy a selfie stick. I mean, I got all kinds of things. I can't show you my selfie stick at the moment because it's in use by my cell phone, but if you don't have one, buy you a selfie stick. Buy you something so that you can sit this little phone in there, so that when you're presenting, you can start using that camera. And I've used my cell phone camera when I'm on the road. It's actually, the quality is pretty good as long as I have good internet, but I have presented on the road when it comes to speaking virtually. And I do recommend using your back-facing camera. You're going to have to buy a mirror so that you can see what's going on, because you don't want to talk into a camera the whole time, especially if you don't have help and the camera turns off. I mean, that sucks. It really does sucks. It really does suck when your camera turns off. So when it comes to equipment, for people who are using your cell phone, you need to learn how to use it. That's the beautiful thing about YouTube, is that somebody's already taught you how to do it. Learn how to use your cell phone. Learn how to use the different filters, all of that kind of stuff. For those of you who are going to be doing this at home, all right, so you got your room. So the first thing is you want to upgrade your camera. The laptop cameras are pretty good. If that's all you have, use what you have. You don't have to go out and buy new stuff. But if you got a little bit of room in your budget, I need you to go ahead and update that camera, okay? I am using a Logitech Pro, blah, blah, blah. Let me go find it on Amazon. I'm using a Logitech HD 920. That is what I am using for my camera. And if I can bring it up here on Amazon, I will show it to you. Logitech. All right, I'm going to switch scenes over here so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so what you need to do is you need to go look, or you can buy some different webcams. This is the one I'm using. It's the Logitech C920 Pro HD. Somebody last week asked, do I need to upgrade my cameras every year? No, I've been using this bad boy for 5 years. It's giving me 1080p quality. It's HD. If you're going to be live streaming for a lot of these events, it's good. It's really good. You don't need 4K. Nobody needs to see all your pimples. Most people are not using 4K anyway, and most of these platforms aren't able to render in 4K. 1080p is good. I've actually downgraded to 720p, so you just need a webcam, all right? So if you got the Logitech, that's what I want you to do, is to get that Logitech HD Pro. They do have newer ones. If you want to get a newer one, fine, but this is one of the older models. It is cheaper. You don't have to spend that money, and it's still great, and it's portable. I take it with me in many, many places. So that's the thing. I want you to get that camera if you're going to be doing live presentations, all right? Get the camera. The next thing is lighting. Unfortunately, I have to share a video with you later, but what I have going on, and this is one of my lights back here. This is actually a colored light. I can change the color of it. It's just to give me, I don't know, it illuminates my it illuminates my map in the background to give me depth. One of the things that I was doing is I was right up against the wall, but I pulled myself out from the wall so I can have some extra in the background to make it look like I'm like on a stage, or I can give you that blur to some degree in the background when it comes to whatever camera I'm using. But you got to get your lighting, and I actually bought a photography kit a long time ago, so it comes with one of the short lights, and I have just 2 lights with umbrellas. One is over here, and I have another one. They call it a hair light because sometimes I want my curls to pop. I'm still working on the lighting, but if you can't afford a lighting kit, and I do have a ring light behind me. I really do have a ring light, and I do have portable ring lights as well that I take on the road with me. It is upstairs somewhere. Yeah, it's upstairs somewhere. I got so much stuff, y'all. Yeah, this is years of trying to figure it out. But I do, if anything else, I want you to go get a ring light. You can get the big ring lights. You know, you see the makeup people using them. You can get a small one. I just need something that's pumping out enough light to make you glow. I mean, come on. Like, you don't want to be on camera showing all the pimples. I'm telling you, this virtual thing, this is the first time where you won't have to put on that much makeup. You let the lighting do all of the work. Seriously. And then throw a filter on top of it. Save yourself some money, and you can save yourself from wearing some Spanx, you know, if you need to pretend like some things ain't hanging out. That's what I'm talking about. Use that lighting stuff. Plenty of really cool videos on YouTube talking about lighting. You can go to the queen herself, Miss Kim Kardashian. She's actually really good at that stuff. But I want you to upgrade that lighting. If you can't afford that, those little desk lamps that we used to have when we were in high school that clip onto your table, use those and get daylight light bulbs. Those work just as well, okay? So that's the basics with the camera. We got the lighting. Now your sound. Your sound. Your sound. You need to upgrade your sound. If you cannot upgrade your sound, I don't want you to use earbuds. I want you to get some old school, one of these things. Earbuds either seem to die or you have a lot of distortion with them. If you cannot get a microphone, that means you will have to wear your headphones the entire time. Now, I highly recommend wearing your headphones anytime you present, especially if you're presenting with a moderator who's going to talk to you. What's happening is sometimes if you let your speaker on your camera, on your blah, blah, blah. What's that thing? The laptop. If you're letting your laptop do the sound and it's your microphone, you might get some feedback. You might get some weird sounds in there. So that's why I always have a microphone and I have headphones. Now, because I am presenting to you virtually, I don't need my headphones because nobody's talking to me. But whenever whenever I am doing any of, my presentations, especially if I know that somebody's going to be talking to me, I always make sure I have my headphones so that I don't get any sound distortions. And I know at this point you've heard when people are speaking and they're using their phones or their laptops for the sound and microphone. You hear all kinds of weird stuff in the background. It's just weird, y'all. So that's why I highly recommend, because you want to sound the best. That's the thing. When you are doing these presentations, and here's the secret I want you to sound so good that people are like, dang, like you sound amazing. Like you were awesome. Like how did you do that? Can you come and speak at my event? That's what I want for you. I want you to stand out so much that people are just drawn to you so that you can be effective. That's how you're going to get people to stay on your presentations, is to upgrade that sound. If you have headphones with a microphone, use those. What I am using here at home now, here on Instagram, I am actually not using my headphones because I have I have my phone plugged in. But typically I will use my headphones when I'm on Instagram. Whenever you're using your cell phone, use your headphones, okay? We want to get rid of all the extra sound. Right now, I am using the Rode microphone. I'm actually going to flip to it here on Amazon, and I'm going to have links to all of this stuff so that you can see what I'm doing as well. All right, let's see. Now, here's the deal. My Rode microphone is a little unique. I am not using the typical Rode microphone or a Yeti or anything like that. What happened, and I have to tell you this, my microphone actually goes to my camera. And I used to use a Yeti, but it broke on me. My Yeti microphone broke. I do like the Yeti microphone, so if that's the one you want to get, I highly recommend. But I've had, and this is what a Yeti microphone looks like. This is blue. The company is blue, so this is a blue Yeti. I've loved it, but I think I was too rough with it, and this is my second one, and it just didn't work for me anymore. And you can actually put your headphones into it. I would just say buy the warranty, just in case. But this served me well for a good 3.5 years before I had to buy a new one. I love this thing, and because I was just too cheap to buy a new one, and I haven't figured out what microphone I want to use, I've been using my Rode microphone that goes with this thing right here. And what I have, there's a lot of stuff going on here for me to be able to work it, but basically it is inside, it is plugged into the microphone jack on a switch that I'm using. Now, if you're going to use some type of camera microphone, you got to be very careful. You have to buy the right connector to go with what you're using. So it's this black and gray. So this is what we usually use for like headphones. I had to buy another one with 2 black ends. These things are different. I didn't know that. This is why you have your husband who helps you out, who knows this stuff. But that's what I'm using at this exact moment. And it's just a Rode microphone that I have plugged into a switch. You don't have to be fancy like me. I just want to make sure you can have a microphone. The Blue Yeti is actually a USB microphone. That's perfect. One of the things you might find is you're going to have to buy a USB switch, kind of like your plugs that you could put multiple USBs in. My laptop only gets me one, so I have to add some extra things on so I can get more inputs, USB inputs. Whew, I've been talking a lot. Let me know if you got any questions. I got more to go, but I just want to make sure everybody's in line with me when I'm talking about all these things. And we're still talking about upgrading your equipment. We've talked about camera, lighting. Now we're going to be on sound. And I really do want your sound to be, it needs to be darn near perfect, just to be honest. I've sat through a lot of summits over the last year, and I hate it when people have bad sound. If you're a podcaster, you're already a leg up. But this, if you don't have anything, get this first, then get your lighting. I think personally, I don't know. I would get both. You need both. You need the lighting. And the one thing I will say about lighting, if you can't afford a camera, you can still use your laptop camera. But make sure you have really good lighting to go with it. I don't think I have my other camera connected so that I can switch over and show you what my laptop camera is, what it's doing. Maybe I'll put it in here. Just give me a second for my YouTube folks. I'm about to stress myself out and try something on the fly, which is never a good thing. Never a good thing to try things on the fly. Oh, it's there. All right, so I think we're good. We are good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I think you see my camera over here. So I actually have two cameras for my YouTube people. So this is my laptop camera that you're seeing right now. And one of the other things I will say for my Instagram folks, you can't see me, but one of the things I will say for people who are using this, yeah, I do have the other camera going too. I have two cameras going. The other thing I will say is that if you're using your laptop camera, you need to raise it up, all right? You need to raise it up because this is what we don't want to see. We don't want to see all up in your nose, all right? So I'm going to turn this camera off really fast because I think I am screwing myself up. All right, so this is why we want to raise the camera up, because we want to be eye level. I did a video last Tuesday about talking to the camera. I think it was Tuesday before last, talking to the camera. You got to be able to talk to the camera. That's why we don't want to look down. We want to be able to talk as if people are right there, and we want to be able to make eye contact with them. So that's and one of the other things, like I said, if you don't have the ability to get a nice new camera, this is where you have to raise up your laptop, put it on some boxes. And this is where lighting is important, because lighting can actually help out a really poor camera as much as it can. But this is one of the things we really want to make sure that the lighting is not too bad. And we want to make sure we're in a decent place. This is why I say you got to have your own little studio so that you can create the surroundings around you. All right. All right, Miss Jazzy Nation, she's asking, I use my laptop camera and need to upgrade to this quality. Yeah, so what you want to do, Jasmine, is just raise your laptop up if that's the only camera you have, and just turn up the lighting. Turn up the lighting as much as possible just to help that little camera out on your laptop, and just, you know, stack some boxes up so that you can be eye level with the camera, so you're not looking down like we were just talking about. So that's the one thing I want you to do, is to make sure that is going on. Turn your camera off when you're done, because you don't want people looking at you, you know. But raise it up, turn up the lights, and just buy some extra lighting. I think last year we were like, just use natural light. Now I think I want you to actually invest in some of this better lighting and get your headphones so that you can at least sound good and look good, okay? Until you are able to kind of make those massive upgrades. Now, one of the things is I could raise up my laptop. What I use, where's my thing? Here is my magic laptop raiser. It's a leftover box from wedding gifts. So what I'll do is I will put the box here. I will raise the laptop and sit it on top. Right now, I don't really need to do that. I only do that if I need to kind of have everything eye level. But we're friends. We're family. So this is what we're doing right now. All right. So how are we? We've talked about upgrading the equipment. This is going to be a long one. I didn't mean for this to be long, but I really do want you to have all this information. We talked about the room. We talked about the camera. We talked about the microphone. Last thing we're going to talk about are graphics. All righty. Now, this is one of my new things here. And here on Instagram, you can probably see that I have quite a few different graphics going on. And I'm actually going to show everybody here on blah blah blah. Oh, I'm gonna show you on Instagram. I'm gonna log in as my personal brand and show you what this looks like. So, I need to work out or something. So this is what it looks like over here on Instagram. So, and the cool thing about Instagram is you can play around with all of these different little features. And that's great. But the thing is, you won't necessarily have that. You won't necessarily have that when you are using some of these other tools. So one of the things that you can do before you try to get all fancy, like I'm doing, which with flipping through scenes, like I'm doing right now, you can just do something basic with your graphics. Now, I am a Canva lover. And when I say I'm a Canva lover, I'm a Canva lover. The cool thing about Canva these days, and I'm actually going to go to one of my designs and you can see how I'm doing this. You can save out, Giphies or MP4s. And what I do for the top of this show, I have something flying around. So if I start freaking out, that's just me freaking out. One of the things you can do is do a GIF or GIF, however you want to say it. But this is a quick and dirty way to get a few graphics into an event. So let me show you what this looks like. Okay. Let's see if I got this right. Sometimes I don't really know how to do this. All right, so there we go. And it's just little bits of graphics. It's a tumble, and you just build your thing as normal, and then you can download the graphic, whichever shots you have, in 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Start adding these little things, to kind of give a little bit of oof to your presentation. And this is very like level 1 type graphic generation. I absolutely love it. I really do love it. And it can kind of make things just a little bit more interesting. One of the things that I do at the top of this show is that I just run those graphics that you just saw over and over again, just to make it seem like it's interactive. And this is something you can absolutely do when you are presenting, and you can run presentations through Canva. I will actually show you one of my presentations. I know you get to see all of my dirty little goods here. You can actually run presentations out of Canva. I do this all of the time. Now, of course, if you're really weirded out by it, move everything into PowerPoint. But I can actually run presentations out of Canva. I can have the graphics going on a couple of the slides. And this one isn't really doing anything. But if I can have this on my other screen, I can bring in all of these cool little graphics. And this is the other thing that you need to do. You need to make sure your slides, your PowerPoints, yes, you're going to have to use slides and PowerPoints. Don't let it just be your face in the talking window. You're going to have to make this as interactive as possible. Add some pictures of people. People like seeing people in pictures. I don't know why. That's a weird one. I still haven't figured that one out. And I know you can't see this. Let me move my camera over so you can see what I'm doing. But people like to see, I'll move it down. But people like to see humans in photos. They like to make it graphics. Stop putting a lot of words on your graphics. And if you can make it interactive, do it. Colors. People like all of the pretty colors. All of these things that we may think are a little weird, but people absolutely love it. And like I said, this is one of the things that I do like, in that Canva has given you the ability to add these types of graphics to your presentations. Not only that, you can actually add in video, you can add in music. Do whatever you can to keep people engaged. Like I said, this is the one thing I did learn from the world of K-pop. You got to keep people engaged. You got to keep switching up. And one of the things is, you don't want to be like everybody else, okay? You got to find your own little rhythm, your own little style to keep people interested in what you are doing. And that's where I really want you to start paying attention to your presentations, because you do need to be effective. Your goal right now is to stand out from everybody else that is presenting. If you're trying to leverage this to travel, if you're trying to leverage this to grow a business, if you're like Miss Jasmine and you are trying to leverage this to grow your name and your authority, you're gonna have to stand out. And sometimes these little bitty things can help you stand out. Adding in the graphics. If you can add in things moving across the screen, do that. I am not there yet. I can do it with, my little stuff that I have here. I'll put it up here. It takes a little bit of work. I'll put it up here. So I can do this kind of stuff right now. I'm still practicing where I can add in graphics here and there and have things move. I can switch between and have myself fade out. I'm still a baby in doing this because I'm doing it by myself when I'm trying to switch through all these scenes and everything. But you can just do some very, very, very basic things right now to make sure that you stand out and you are more effective. Your goal right now when it comes to these virtual presentations is to keep people engaged as long as possible. A lot of it we've talked about. You're going to have to bring the energy. You're going to have to bring the smiles. You're going to have to do all these other things. I mean, nowadays, because we're virtual, you can do show and tell. You can show people what you're actually working on. You can do your presentation from your cell phone. I've done this where I have come in with my camera, and then I've also logged in through my cell phone so that if I needed to switch, and I can walk around and show you what's going on, I can do that. I can't do it now because I'm doing these other things, but most people are still using Zoom, so you can have two feeds coming in from your cell phone and from your main presentation, just so that you can just be a little bit more dynamic. You can show what's going on and you can keep it engaging. Now, I've also seen where people are doing polls and all that kind of stuff. Don't get too fancy too soon. Don't do all the things. Let's work on the lighting. Let's work on the sound. Let's work on raising up the computer so we don't see the nose. And let's make sure we have this room so that we can move around. And one of the other things I was going to say about my room is you want to start making sure you're decorating. So if you have to use a flat wall, I use that for a long time. Make sure it's a very clean flat wall. Give yourself some good lighting. But if you want to be a little different, you can start decorating, putting things in the background. You don't want people distracted, but you want them kind of looking like, oh my gosh, what's that in the background? You know, I have my map, I have travel photos, I have badges from when I was speaking out in the world. Just little things. And because now we have all of these graphic effects, you can blur out your background, you know, depending on what software they're using. And there's a whole bunch of other things, but these are just some of the things I want you to do when it comes to being a more effective virtual speaker. And it's not just with your content, it's just with how you are presenting yourself. That's step one. We're going to get to the content, but this is just step one so that you stand out and people take notice and they want to keep doing business with you. I think we made it. I think we made it. I think we made it. Whew. Whoa, that was a lot. Did y'all learn anything? I don't know if I learned anything. I'm actually going to bring up the website. So for all of you who are interested, I highly encourage you. You know, this show is brought to you by iFind You Close, and where we actually go out and search and research speaking engagements for people. We love it. This is what we do. I know Jasmine is a new member, so we talked a lot about how she can leverage this for what she's doing and to grow her business and to, you know, get herself out there and become known. That's your biggest job, is to become known. But if you go check out iFind You Close, we are doing free assessments to see if you can attract high-paid speaking gigs. So I want you to go check us out, ifindyouclose.com. I actually like doing those assessments. I get to be nosy and see what you all are doing when it comes to your websites and everything. I know, it's kind of cool. So now I get to like recommend folks like, oh, you should go to this website. You should go to this one. So you can go check out ifindyouclose.com. Of course, if you have not, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hopefully this one was a good one. It's on the longer side, but y'all can handle it. I mean, you know, it's YouTube and chill. YouTube and chill and figure out how to make some money. That's what you want to do today. All right, so we talked about upgrading your equipment. We talked about setting up a room so that you can have a stage. Camera. We talked about microphone. We didn't talk about recording your presentations. I'm actually going to save that. I'm going to save that one. You don't need to worry about that one right now. I just want you to look good, sound good, and be in your element so that you can do your thing. That's what we want. All right, tomorrow. What are we talking about tomorrow? The future of live events for speakers. Okay, tomorrow is going to be a good one. I just want to let you know what's going on in the world of live events. The Consumer Electronics Show went virtual. That's an event that's always looking for speakers, always looking for people to talk about marketing and doing different things with video and electronics and technology. They went virtual. They usually bring in 170,000 people. Yes, 170,000 people. But they reveal some of the new technology. A lot of events, a lot of companies like the Verizons, that they are trying to incorporate into virtual live events, just like my Kpop thing, where you can switch cameras, you can do all these things and be more interactive. That's going to be a little bit of the future. So we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to boil it down to how this can affect you as a speaker. And a lot of what we talked about was from today. I want to make sure you understand what you are dealing with as a speaker, so that you can adapt and not be like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening. No, we don't want that. All right. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So I think if you go to our YouTube page, you can set a reminder to, that we're going to be going live at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, for everybody here on Instagram and YouTube. And of course, for my IG people, if you want to see all the graphics, you're going to have to come over here to YouTube. All right. All right. That was fun. I think my voice is tired now. It's not my night to do dinner. Yay! It's not my night to do dinner. I'm loving my Instagram filter because I got the one with the eyelashes. Because I swear to God, I hate fake eyelashes. So I used to do a television show last year, 2019 into 2020. I was on a national TV show called Daily Blast Live. And I would go and answer personal finance questions about once a week. And they would put fake eyelashes on me. I mean, they look good. They were amazing. I love my makeup artist. But after an hour, it felt like bricks were sitting on my eyes. And some things you may not know. I was I was a professional cheerleader, and I did professional dancing. So I always used them when I was out doing my thing, but I always hated them. I was the person at dinner. You have to be careful because there'd be like some eyelashes floating around, because I had to just take them off because they just bothered my eyes so much. But cheers to all you girls and guys that can do that. I'm just too lazy. All right. All right. Tomorrow we are done for today. So I appreciate you being here. Of course, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them down in the comment box. Go get ready for dinner. For some of you, I think it's past dinner time, but it's like my dinner time now. And I think we're going to sign off. That's it. If you need me, you know where to find me. Hopefully this was really good. Share this with a friend who's been having their nose in virtual events. Yeah, go ahead and share this to them so they can stop. For those of you on IG, I'm going to sign off with you first. I appreciate you for being here. Take care of yourself. Make sure you like us here at iFind You Clothes. And of course, go check us out at ifindyouclothes.com. Bye. All right. For my YouTube people, of course, I appreciate you. I know you love you. This is our main home. So always come here for all of our latest events and latest talks and everything that's going on. So I will see you tomorrow, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It is snowing here in Colorado. Well, it kind of wasn't. It's just cold. Take care of yourself. Stay warm. Wear a mask. Wear other things if you're doing some things. Check out our podcast, Humans Exhaust Me, where we talked about K-pop, and I tried to convert somebody over to the world of K-pop. Take care of yourself. Bye for now.